But the thing is it sounds like Joseph's number one mode of communication was phone calls.
Yeah.
So this makes a lot more sense when you say, I dreaded that phone call, but I kind of anticipated it. Pick up with the phone call, please.
Okay, so all that's going on. This is a cycle. So Joseph calls me in December, and he calls me on my birthday, and it's the typical pitch, and I was like, okay, I can't. We've done this before. I get where you're at. I understand. I'm hearing everything you're telling me. And the phone call was easy. The phone was easy for Joseph because we never knew where he was.
Yep.
But he could always reach back to us. And I kind of felt like that was a success. Like that was that was the thing. Like he always knew he could call.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I'm not perfect, and I don't ever want to come across that way, because December's phone call was exactly 70% don't ever do this.
Yeah.
Because Joseph called, and it was like, I had some stuff going on at that time.
Yep.
There was some stuff going on in my life. And it was like, dude, I don't have capacity anymore.
Yeah.
I really don't. I no longer have room. And the price I'm paying for you is costing me my own personal well-being.
Yeah.
My own personal health. And now it's starting to rub into my marriage. Because by this time, because Jeanette and I are two very different people, by this time, Jeanette was so emotionally upset of these outbursts that she couldn't. Like, I don't want to say she didn't want to, but her defense was like, I can't do this. And I got it, right? Like, because I've walked this road.
Yeah.
With the path Joseph's been on, I've walked a part of it. And that's part of why with him, I've been like, dude, this is not a road you want to be on. I've seen this road.
Been down it.
And not as far as he went. He's way more durable than me, but I've done this. And I'm trying to save you some of the grief, but I can't put a pillow at the bottom of his hole.
Yeah.
So we got through this conversation, and it was awful, and it was ugly, and it was loud, and it was angry, and a lot of hurtful words were said both ways.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was like, hey, I'm going to tell you the truth of where things are and what you need to do.
Yep.
And he fired back pretty good salvo, and it was awful. And the phone call ended, and it was on Messenger. So for those of you who are cool with all this stuff, it wasn't like a real phone call. It was on Messenger, so it's all typed.
Yeah.
Which was good for me because it gave me a minute to go process.
Yeah.
Right? Off the phone, I sat back, read through that, and went, yeah, that looks like you haven't paid attention in any classes. That looks like you're not doing the right thing. And so I stopped and I regrouped, and I'm like, hey, dude, look, my bad. Let's go through this and let's talk about things. And I got a message back like, okay, kind of like put things back in perspective. So then he calls again on Christmas Eve, sitting on the couch, he calls, and it's the exact same, almost verbatim conversation. And I'm like, okay, Joseph, you really just need help. And while we're on Messenger, I'm like pulling up a window with resources in Arizona, and I'm putting him, like pasting him right in the Messenger. So it's the splash, like,
Yeah.
Like, hey, crisis hotline, all the stuff they tell us to do, right? Like, get somebody here, all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, they'll help you, and they won't lock you up, and you're not going to go to prison, but you need help.
Yeah.
Like, you are at a point that somebody with way more skills than I have can help you. And I said, me sending you money isn't going to fix this either.
No.
So then that call ends abruptly. Sometime in February, I get a messenger from some gal in the town, and I'm like, okay. I don't answer random messages, but I saw
a messenger from the gal in the town that Joseph had.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So she sends a message back, and she's like, hey, just wanted to let you know Joseph's living on my property. I have horses. Here's my plug for equine therapy. Joseph's on my property. He's doing okay. He's like, he loves you. He respects you. He thinks a lot about you, and he wants to be able to talk to you.
Right.
And I remember looking at that, and I'm like, okay, and I sent the message back that Joseph is always welcome. And then I didn't hear anything else. And so fast forward a little bit, Jeanette is finally like getting reconnected with all of her friends from high school. We're down in Placerville. We're staying in a trailer at her friend's house. And there's a text message in the morning from the gal who comes and watches our dogs. And she's freaked out, like freaked out. And she's this great gal. But she's like, there was a sheriff and somebody from the military at the front door. And Jeanette and I look at each other and we're like, at 2 in the morning. So for anybody listening, 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning this happens. She's freaked out.
Of course.
And I'm like, and so I'm trying to process in my head, like, sheriff and military. I'm like, somebody from the air side? Did somebody on my staff just have something happen? I'm like, did I do something wrong? Is it a provost marshal? Like, is this maybe a whole other conversation?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, and I'm freaking out. And this is at 5 in the morning, right? So Jeanette and I are on our phones, right? Like working thumbs. And so then, and I'd always anticipated it would just be a phone call. I've watched a lot of TV, they call. So they don't call. They show up at your house.
Yeah.
And the gal thought it was somebody in the military because it was a sheriff and OCPs.
Okay.
And they had come to the house to let us know. And the reason we know that is because the sheriff left his card, and on the back side of the card was the case number and an Arizona phone number. And Jeanette and I, so on the drive back from Placerville home, we kind of went through all those things.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that. Maybe he's just in jail.
Of course.
Right? All of the things that it can't be, but every time we would stop talking, it would be like, but it's probably not.
But
it's probably not. And so we finally got home. This is Sunday. And Joseph had been staying in an Airbnb in Prescott, Arizona.
yeah.
And they found him in the hallway. And so they found him with 32 dust-off cans. So dust-off, for people who don't know, is a little can of compressed air used to clean your computer. Kids huff that stuff. Sorry if I'm giving away secrets, but kids flip them upside down and you huff the refrigerant. It was a thing 10 years ago. Kids were going out to the dump and doing it. And so Jeanette and I kind of sat in our house and we cried for a little while. We were like, I've shared this with people. I shared it with you, right? Like, I've been in recovery. I've had friends pass away from addiction. And I'm like, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've got it. Like, I will be okay in this because I've seen it happen before and I understand the psychology of addiction and I know how it goes, right? And it wasn't nobody intends to overdose. That's a miscalculation, right? Like, you just kind of off a little bit and oops. So that was a lie. I was 100% not prepared at all.
No.
And
No.
and we sat down and Jeanette and I cried for a little while and we talked about it because the realization happened to us that the only time Jeanette and I had peace was when Joseph was in jail. Because I knew he was safe. I knew that somebody was watching him. He had a place to sleep. He had food to eat, right? Like, I knew for that little window of time, I didn't have to worry about him.
Yeah.
And when, this whole thing of when your kids grow up, you don't have to worry about them anymore, that's a lie. You worry about your kids nonstop. And it was this thought with Joseph. So we talked about it and we were like, okay, what do we do now? Like, now what? And we tried to put it together in our heads. And something came into me that was really about like, he's at peace. Whatever demon this was that he wrestled with, that fight is over.
Let's break there.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. Your story, I mean, we started at the very beginning wanting to know about the phone call. Powerful stuff. You said stuff in there that really just blows my mind. And there's one word, and you kept repeating something that you did. What I mean by repeating is you said, I processed. We processed. We sat down. When we come back, I want to know more about that.
Yep. The
processing it, because I think oftentimes when we're going through grief, we get to the other side. I don't know, it's never ends, but we get to a section and we get to the other side of it metaphorically, and that's when we process. But I'm noticing that you're processing as you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes from your history and how you needed to work on yourself, how you looked at Joseph and the kids' young childhood and how that processed.
Yep.
So processing is big for you. And I want you to tell us more about that when we come back. Yeah, I don't know about you, but that was a powerful story about phone call. And as we continue down this journey of understanding who Joseph was, is, and Kevin's battle, struggle, challenge, as we press forward, like you said, we didn't know what to do. When we come back, that's what we're going to talk about. I hope you join us. We'll see you soon.